best title ever.
I told you it was going to be called Double Dragon.
It's amazing.
I did it yesterday to make sure that I didn't forget. Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, a Pathfinder 2e game happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. This is Book 7, Under a Red Moon, Chapter 93, Double Dragon. And in just a moment, we'll rejoin the battle. We left off in the middle of a boss battle, where Flip has one fire drake summoned and a cloud dragon just showed up. Hence the Double Dragon title. A couple of really super quick announcements. If you look up above M's head over there in the corner, you will see some domain tomes. The domain tomes are a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on our game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, all that stuff for some domain tomes. They can use 1 to reroll. They can use 3 for avoiding death. They can use 5 to change fate, meaning they can turn any die roll up or down by one level of success, including my dice rolls. So yeah, that's how those work up there in the corner. We have that's not the words I'm trying to say. That's why I keep hesitating. I'm like, me forget how talk. We are adults playing a role-playing game, fantasy role-playing game, and we will be using graphic descriptions of violence, sometimes getting into intense conversations and subject matter, and you'll probably hear some adult language. If this is something that you do not want to hear, you are in the wrong place. Please go somewhere else. We will not be offended. Also know that we, the players at this table, have clearly communicated our lines and veils, and we have safety tools in place to protect one another. We encourage you to use safety tools at your own table. The last thing I want to mention before we get going is our usual mental health reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It is true. You could be struggling for any number of reasons. It doesn't really matter what the reason is. Just know that, one, it is okay to not be okay, but you do not have to struggle alone. At any time, you can come into our chat and you can type !help, as I've just done, and a couple URLs will pop up. They'll also show up at the very bottom of our stream periodically. They are findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, what time is it, Cari?
It's time to find some paths, bitches. Woo!
And the path we are finding is the midst of combat. You have worked your way to the final frigid tomb in this this strange overall frozen mountain and dungeon in the midst of a desert, which you there's no doubt in your minds now that this is all the machinations of Teera's mother, Melina Frostheart, the Frost Witch. And the person you are currently fighting, who holds within their chest the gift of the Frostheart, a magical artifact said to be able to bring somebody back to life. It is held in the chest of your dad, or what was once your dad, Dirkhead the Kellid, and he is currently trying to kill you all. In addition, 4 statues resembling some former allies or acquaintances, or not even acquaintances, very close family members, The 4 ice statues, of course, looking like Vorn, Doc, Togo, and Marda's sister Petra. Flip, in the midst of this, has summoned Bob the Fire Drake, and Cleandra, the last cloud dragon who has been traveling with you for reasons unknown to you, was frozen inside the trapped corridor, basically petrified in ice. However, there was a 1% chance that she was going to break free. And I had M roll a D100. I used my sliding scale. I rolled a 26, and M rolled a 26. So we ended with Cleandra in full cloud dragon form bursting out of this tunnel.
Thank
and
God.
Flying up on all of you, or rather up behind all of you. And that's where we're going to rejoin. Also, in the previous round, or turn, actually, Dirkhead had unleashed from his chest a powerful cone of cold, causing quite a fair amount of damage to some of you. And so that's where we're going to pick up. It is actually going to be Flip's turn as we rejoin the combat, as Cleandra the Cloud Dragon has just flown into the room.
Okay. So,
point of note, in the process of Cleandra fully flying into this room in dragon form, basically enough of the icicles and stalactites and stalagmites that had made everything difficult terrain have been shattered by her arrival. So that is no longer an issue.
Nice.
Great.
Hell yeah. So this is no longer difficult terrain then?
Correct.
Nice. Love it.
Okay. So where is focus spells? That's the one. Okay. So Flip is, so the statues you said, they're made of ice and they jumped off the thing?
They jumped off their plinths, yes.
Okay. So Flip is going to look at Teera, and he's going to look at Marda, and he's going to look at Kalindra, and he's going to say, we stand today on the precipice of glory.
Jesus.
Yes, in order to ascend it, we must push Teera's father off of it. But I say that is okay. Everyone gains a +1 bonus to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear.
Thank you. Amazing.
And then
Inspiring.
And then Flip is gonna sort of kind of like put his hands together like this, and then he's gonna go like this and say Shoryuken, and throw a fireball at Dirkhead and all of the ice statues.
Shoryuken. What a badass.
So to be clear, the ice statues are behind all of you. Dirkhead is in front of you because you had walked past them, or some of you had walked past them, so they're not in the same area.
Oh, okay.
Teera and Kane are right on Dirkhead, so I don't know if your fireball.
Basically, I mean, I could target it up because he's large, right? So I could avoid that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
so
done that before.
I could either get him, or I could get all 4 of the statues that are behind us.
Correct.
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure those. Fuck it. I will hit Dirkhead.
Okay.
I'm gonna airburst a fireball over his head.
There's nothing saying that those ice people are bad. Maybe they're little good guys.
That's why I'm not convinced that they're.
That's smart. Let's let them strike first.
Does he need to make a reflex save?
Reflex save, he does, yes.
All right. That is a 33.
That is a success. So he takes 19 fire damage.
He will take 34. She takes an extra 15 Fire damage.
That's a shame for him.
That's a shame.
Oh wait, 1 second. Actually, I just want to check one thing. Make it 30. Add one more because I'm inspired by myself, obviously.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah,
Sick.
so yeah, that fireball just bursts above Kane and Teera, right above your heads, but catching sort of like mostly from the shoulders up on Dirkhead. And the flame almost seems to ignite along his icy raiments and seems to rapidly burn, almost like it's burning fuel off, doing that extra damage. Yeah, that was some damage.
Damn.
Is that your turn then, Flip?
I'm done.
What a stud. What a badass.
Kane reels for a moment, kind of ducking down from that sudden explosion. But as from your inspiration, taking inspiration from Flip, and trying to strike while Dirkhead is sort of still the last remnants of this fireball are enveloping him, Kane is basically going to swing this warhammer that he has around and try to uppercut Dirkhead with it. So that's going to be a 40. No, that can't be right. No, 34 to hit. Me can't math either.
He's very strong.
He rolled a 17 with a plus 17 to hit, so that's actually a 35 because of the inspiration.
Oh, yes?
Which beats Dirkhead's AC by just a couple, just 3. So no crit. Let's see.
Knew it. Kill him.
Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so he's going to do 3d8 damage. 4, 8, 9 plus 1 for inspiration is 10. Plus 6 for his usual, so 16 damage as he slams this thing into Dirkhead. But he's not going to stop. He basically uppercuts him and he spins it around and he's going for it again. That is again a 34 with the bonus, but he has a -5 penalty for the multi-attack, which makes it a 29. This time, as he brings it up for the second hit, Dirkhead just basically moves his head back, and the hammer just swings past.
Wow.
And he fails to hit him. So I think Kane, who hasn't done this yet, is going to use his last action point. You see for a moment Kane's features change in a way you haven't seen in quite a while.
Oh no.
As for a moment his features just seem to rearrange, his nose and mouth kind of elongate, his teeth turn into fangs, and you hear a ferocious bear roar as a wolf roar as he changes into, or as he rages. Sorry, he doesn't actually transform, but he takes on that aspect briefly. So he is now raging. Let's see. Okay, which means it is now Teera's turn.
Awesome. And you said I am right up on Dirkhead, right?
Yep.
Okay. I want to try to hit him with my greatsword. Here I go. That's a 23 to hit him.
23?
Yes.
He doesn't even look in your direction, and he just sort of just does that thing where he just moves his shoulder out of the way and dodges you just whiff big time.
Okay. I want to try to hit him again. Here I go. That's a 32 to hit. Sorry, 33 with the +1.
As he is almost cockily moving his shoulder out of the way, you take advantage of that to follow through. I imagine in a way that your father actually taught you how to do once upon a time and was honed by your time with the orcs, as you turn that into a successful hit.
Yay, here I go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. 18 of course. Where is, sorry, I'm doing math. 18, 22. He does not take cold damage, correct?
Correct.
23 points of damage. And I am going to take one more hit because fuck him. Okay. Here comes my last attack. Here it comes. That is a 26 to hit. 27, sorry, with my +1.
This time, as you attempt to come in for the third strike, you see sparks as he deliberately turns a portion of his armor towards you, absorbing the blow in the armor. As your sword hits, you see the sparks are also shooting out chunks of ice as you've chipped away at some of the ice that was just kind of coating his armor. But you don't actually do any damage to him on that.
Damn. Okay. I am done.
Interesting. Hold on one second. I haven't used this before, so I think I think I'm going to do this.
Nothing good happens after you say that.
He has an attack of opportunity reaction that is called Icy Deflection. When he is targeted by... Oh, no, sorry, never mind. It has to be ranged or a non-fire spell attack, so I will not do that. It just looks cool as he blocks it with his armor.
Okay. What a dick.
You'll just have to wait till later, potentially, to see what that does.
Nobody shoot him. You're gonna shoot him, use fire.
Marda, it is your turn. And just as a reminder, you did learn in the previous round when you had cast a negative spell on him that the negative energy did heal him.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Is it just negative? Do I know that?
You know that negative energy heals him, and I think with your knowledge of undead, that's enough, because I think you had also made some checks and stuff in there. Yeah, it's the negative energy is the only thing that seems to have that effect on him.
Cool. Can she get close enough to touch him?
Yeah.
She is going to run up and grab his arm if she can, and as she does so, he needs to make... What does he need to make? A fortitude save.
Fortitude save. That is a 28. Is that a save?
20. Yeah, it just saves.
Oh God! How many tomes do we got to spend to make Jake re-roll?
It's 5, I think.
It's
which
5.
Is so many.
It's 5 that just would turn that success into a fail, a regular
but then
fail.
Three. Sorry, go ahead.
What if I make you re-roll it? Is it 3?
There is no option to make the DM re-roll. Not in
There isn't?
Okay.
Not in our Pathfinder game. There isn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It was
Ah.
replaced by the change of fate, allowing you to change any die roll up or down on success level.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that does nothing. She just grabs him. But as she looks at him and focuses her gaze, if the creature has any weaknesses, I'm going to cast Vision of Weakness. This is one of my focus points to do so. If the creature has any weaknesses, I learn them, as well as which of the 3 saving throw modifiers is the lowest.
Oh.
So you learn its weaknesses, and
And which of its saving is the lowest.
You know, through this, which makes sense because you just attempted to make him make a fortitude save, that his fortitude saving throw is the lowest. He is weak 15 to fire, so he takes an extra 15 fire damage whenever he takes fire. But you also then, I'm going to count this as a weakness, is he regenerates a certain amount of hit points every round, unless he's hit by fire in the previous turn.
Oh,
great.
Which so far,
Great piece of
this round he's
information.
been hit by fire, so you know that Flip canceled that out with his fireball attack.
Yeah,
Also-
I think Marda will...
Flip, you didn't have Bob make an attack on your turn. So after
Yeah,
Marda,
now that you mentioned it.
after Marda goes, you can have Bob. Bob was a little in awe, I think, of Cleandra's appearance.
Whoa.
And who wouldn't be? She is beautiful.
So yeah, Marta's gonna yell that out. We have to hit him with fire every time, she says. She yells out. Every time, all the time. Yes. It's almost as if it was like, I don't know, every 6 seconds or something.
Approximately. Let's see how many.
Yeah.
Every 42 seconds, you need to hit him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her turn.
All right, so then we'll get Bob in there real quick.
Okay.
While Bob's attacking, I would like Cari to roll a D100, please.
Oh God.
All right, what you got, Bob?
Okay, I got a 24. I got a less than that, and okay, you're not going to unionize with these rolls. 24 is the highest.
I imagine it's almost like on the heels of your fireball, it's almost like the overwhelming energy of the fireball. It's like Bob's getting sort of like his fire attacks are getting caught in that. It's preventing him from landing his attacks. Because none of those was even close to hitting him.
Way to go, Bob!
So
Stupid name for a fire drake.
What the fuck is Bob doing? His best.
as the last remnants of this fireball are dissipating and Bob is attempting to strike, and with every strike there's this sort of flare of fire. This firelight is a stark contrast to the otherwise cold blue and white of this chamber and everything around it. And you now see refracted 1,000-fold in all the shattered icicles that were knocked apart when Cleandra came in the room. But you see that they're moving. As all around this room where shattered icicles had crashed to the ground, you see several of them beginning to rise up into the air. They're sort of like... And as they rise, they're turning to point towards all of you. When suddenly, they just start shooting down into the midst of all of you. I need reflex saves as the... this is a encounter event for the round.
I got a 24.
35.
35, 24, 31. All right, so we've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 piercing damage, which would be halved to 12 for Marda and Flip. Oh, I gotta roll reflex for Keen real quick.
What's the DC?
30. Kane's reflex save is a 28, so Kane's also gonna take 24. Teera, and Teera, you're gonna take the full 24, except how do you mitigate on rage? It's not half damage in Pathfinder.
It's not half. It's I think. Hold on. I gotta double check. It's on Path Builder.
I think it's the opposite. It's just because you get those temp HP. I think that's sort of the.
I think I
trade-off.
don't mitigate just basic damage.
Yeah,
But I'll
okay.
double check.
Well, it's relevant to me too as Kane, and I see the same thing.
Oh, sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I see the same thing.
Hold on. Okay.
So, yeah, Cleandra will take 12. I'm marking Cleandra's HP here.
Nice.
Where's Kane's HP? Okay. Kane lost 24. That was a layer action, basically. Which then takes us to the statues. They, as ice, any ice that didn't or even did hit all of you, although where it hits you, it's probably causing flecks of blood, sprays of blood. It's also shattered ice flying everywhere, and out of
Real quick, Jake, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I do have a question.
Yes.
I have Fury Instinct, Raging Resistance, and it says I resist physical weapon damage, but not physical damage from other sources, such as unarmed attacks. Is this count as weapon damage or not weapon damage?
This is not weapon damage. It's an environmental effect.
Okay.
So I wouldn't count it as weapon damage.
Okay.
If
it were a weapon, I would get -3 mitigation on
Perfect.
everything.
What was that? What was that effect called?
It's called Raging Resistance, and then it's based on my Fury Instinct.
Okay. So I think I have a different instinct.
You probably do. I
Yeah.
think there was like Nature Instinct as well, and
Yeah.
I bet you that's what you went with for him.
Kane has an animal instinct
Oh.
aspect of the wolf.
That's
Yeah, so anyway, out of the shattered remnants of this ice, the ice statues of Togo, Petra, Doc, and Vorn all come flying in, or rather running in towards all of you. And Vorn is going to attack Teera. Doc is going to attack Flip. Petra is going to attack Marda. And Togo is going to attack Kane.
wow.
So we'll start with Doc against Flip. As he comes running in towards you, I think he's just going to come flying in with a fist. He's just going to try to pummel you with his icy fists. 23 to hit. The ice statue of Doc is moving slow. As it misses you, it is going to immediately open its mouth, and an icy mist begins to roil out, and I need you to make a reflex save. Okay. Reflex for nope. Reflex for Flip.
Born.
I got 24.
I started to say reflex for fortitude.
I'll trade you.
You will take 7 points of cold damage from the icy mist.
Flip looks like he only takes 2 because of his icy dance that he's performing.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at you, Ice Dance.
Vorn coming in at Teera. That's a where did it go? That's an 18 to hit.
Does not hit.
A 15 to hit.
Does not hit.
And a 19 to hit. As
Does not
Vorn
hit.
just comes swinging clumsily in with these ice fists, missing. Marda, as Petra comes walking towards you, she just sweeps her hands to her side, opens up her mouth, and you see this freezing mist just roll out immediately. Need a basic reset reflex save from you.
Ooh, 16.
4. You take 24 points of cold damage as you are enveloped in this freezing mist. Oh no.
Oh no.
She was attempting to use the mist as cover so that as it washes over you, and you imagine like your hair is sort of frozen, your eyebrows are frozen, and as you're blinking away tears from the cold, you see that she is throwing a fist at you. Or rather throwing a punch at you. She's not like literally throwing a fist. She's throwing a punch at you. Oh, that's a spell attack, that's why. I'm reading the wrong thing. She rolled a 1. She critically failed. That's why I'm taking a note.
Aha!
When you said "oh no," I thought you were saying "oh no" because you were rooting for
Oh.
us. But actually, it was "oh no" because your fucking scheme is falling apart.
This is interesting. So I need to roll a fortitude save. Which for the ice statue, fortitude is 15, 21. If you succeed, you take 3d6 mental damage. If you fail, your head explodes and you die.
Oh shit! Oh no! Well, this might be a good time to use that 5 pops and reduce it if he.
No, it's not Marda. This isn't Marda.
Oh
This is
no! It's the enemy, right?
This is the Petra ice golem that was attacking you. It tried to psych you out, punching through its own magical effect with its breath weapon and critically failed. So as you see this ice carving of your sister trying to do an unnatural thing for your sister in throwing this punch at you, you see the hand as it's hitting this mist, starts to just erode away, as if hitting into, like, a strong wind is coming from the other direction. And you watch as her fist disintegrates and just rolls up her arm, and the statue, it never changes its expression. It's still continuing forward as if it's throwing this punch, and you just watch, and it gets up to the side, and all of a sudden its head just goes...
Oh.
And the statue of your sister collapses at your feet.
Wow, don't remind me never to fuck with Marda. You just kill you with a look. You're like, yeah. Punch me in the face.
So
go ahead, try.
Marda's like, all right.
that's just a note that the critical fail effects work just as much on me as they do on you guys.
Oh my god. Oh, nice. Take it. Who wins the win?
Togo on Kane is going to be a 29 to hit. Excuse me, which is going to hit him. The second one is going to be a 24 to hit, which is going to be a miss. And the third one is going to be a 19. That's not a critical fail. So he's only going to hit with the first one. So Kane is going to take 14 bludgeoning and 4 cold. Reduced. What's the reduction on winter frostborn or whatever? Winter.
It's cold resistance 4.
Okay, so he mitigates the cold damage. He's just going to take the 14. You can see with this, Kane is in pretty rough shape too. He's trying to put on a brave face, but Kane has gashes across his face and looks like almost like he's developing instant frostbite. He's sweating profusely that seems to almost immediately begin to freeze. I believe that was all of the golems attacking you guys. Which takes us to the top of the round. It is Dirkhead. Dirkhead sees Kane and Teera, his children, trying to strike him down. And he sees this... He barely seems to register that this little halfling is attempting to do something to him. And he... there's a part of me that just wants him to just lift you up by your head and just go chuck you aside. He is going to...
Oh god. Oh god. I'm not gonna end the eyebrow.
Okay. He is going to look at both of you, Teera and Kane. And he looks back at you, Teera. And you see that blue light of fire, arcane fire in his eyes. Or eye sockets, as he looks down at you. You realize, as he's looking down at you, what we as an audience might see as a trick of the camera, where low perspective looking up, and he seems to be towering over you. You all watch as his physical form enlarges to that of a frost giant. He actually, he seems to like gain extra muscles. And his appearance, he takes on the actual appearance of a frost giant.
Oh no.
But he doesn't break eye contact with you the entire time, Teera. As he says, "You were never blood of my blood." And with 2 rapid punches, he's going to strike at Kane.
Ooh.
He's using a feature called... so he's used one action called Change Shape. And he's using a second action to do a double punch, which means without the multi-attack modifier, he gets to make 2 punch attacks on Kane. That first one is going to be a 31 to hit, which will hit. The second one is a 38 to hit. So he's taking both of those hits, Kane is. So that's going to be 4. He's 12, 13, 19, minus 2, 17 plus 16 becomes 33, plus 2d6 cold is 8, takes half of that. So he's going to take a total of 37 points of damage, with most of that being just the straight up bludgeoning damage. And he takes 37, go all the way to 37. Whoops. Okay. Thought I was going to lose my screen again. He's going to, you see now as he double hits Kane, just that Kane is barely holding himself up. Dirkhead still looking at you, Teera. Only my blood matters. With a 13 minus 5, that is an 8. Plus 25 is 33. He strikes Kane a third time.
Oh.
Kane is going to take 2. 8 is 10. Minus 2 is 8. Plus 16 is 24. Plus 6 minus 4, so 2. So 26 total damage. With this final punch down at Kane, you hear the bones around, like, his orbital socket, his nose and jaw breaking as Dirkhead's fist comes down one final time. And then you hear, as in almost slow motion, you see this warhammer fall to the ground with a heavy metallic cha-dunk. And Kane crumples to the ground unconscious. Kane is now unconscious, dying 1. But
Marda has a thing.
Marda has a thing.
Marda screams no as and you can see as she I'm sure Dirkhead had like ripped away from her, so she's a little bit away, but she slams her staff down on the ground, and you can see the ice begin to break all the way to Kane, and intermingling with the ice breaks are those dark red tendrils kind of coming out from within those cracks in the ice, slithering around and towards Kane, and they wrap around him in this cocoon. As a reaction, casting Breath of Life on Kane, so I prevent a target from dying and restore 5d8 hit points.
Oh my god. Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes. Hell yeah for magic CPR, bitches. Let's go. Let's go. So proud. Wow.
I'm assuming this effect wasn't... No, he just punched him, so it wasn't a death effect. There we go.
No, it was not a death effect.
I mean, any punch can be a death effect if you hit him hard enough, I suppose.
No, it's actually good you brought that up, because I was actually reading up on death effects today. There are certain attacks and results of attacks that are a death effect, meaning that if they are failed or if this attack succeeds, the target dies.
Oh, like when
it doesn't,
his head exploded.
Yeah, it doesn't go into dying condition. It dies.
Sure. Okay. So Kane gets back 22 HP.
Wow.
Okay. So it sounds like for the purposes of this, until his turn for flavor, he's wrapped in this cocoon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Alright, so he's at... So Dirkhead can't see what's happened. You've just wrapped him in this cocoon. Excellent. Excellent. That was Dirkhead's entire turn. It's Cleandra's turn.
Oh, eat him. Eat him.
Here we go.
Here we go. Serious cloud dragon action here. Come on now, last of your house. Get your shit together.
So Cleandra is going to go up to Dirkhead and is going to make 2 claw strikes and a horn strike.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
I'm nervous because I know those numbers are big. Those are some big bonuses
That's
on
gonna be a-
Cleandra.
31 and a 30. No. That is going to be a 43.
Oh, that is tough math to do because those numbers
Right.
are huge.
I only heard 2 numbers. There were 3 attacks you were doing, right?
Yeah, sorry, my math skills are struggling
fine.
here.
You're crushing it.
And then that's going to be a 36
So
for the horn.
the very first attack, the first claw attack, you don't know if it's by accident or on purpose, but after Dirkhead has dealt what he believes is a killing blow to Kane, he throws his hand back like he wants to hit again, and that's when Cleandra's first attack comes in, and he basically almost accidentally blocks it. But the next 2 attacks, the claw attack and the bite attack, he does not block. They are absolutely strikes. In fact, what was it? You said 43 was the second claw attack?
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
critical hit, because that is 11 over his AC.
Okay, so critical hits.
They're double
Double?
damage, but I'm going to shuffle the deck and see what we have for a... Oops. What would be a...
Oh,
Are
no,
those,
it's
are
having
those
to be at
slashing
base blow.
attacks? The claw attack?
Piercing.
Okay.
Piercing. No, yes, slashing, sorry. Yeah, slashing.
Right, I just shuffled, grabbing the top. That seems stupid.
Sorry. Well, let's not do that then.
Well,
we'll
that's dumb.
Well,
it was
not doing that
literally
one.
called paper cut. When
Oh,
a
come
dragon
on.
critically hits you, that's not a paper cut.
Ow, ow. Mm.
It's like, oh no.
It stings.
We're gonna go with this next one that I drew, which is ruptured abdominal cavity, triple damage. It's a
That went
dragon.
from 0
Quite
to
the-
100.
quite
Yeah.
the- Quite the range of effects in that deck there. Like, we go from a boo-boo to a freaking
So,
5-alarm fire.
That's gonna be triple damage from that claw attack. And it's going to fatigue him, which is a -1 to his AC.
So, boss.
Okay. That's going to be 24 points of damage for the 1 claw attack. No, 24, and then I double that.
Triple.
That's triple?
That specific effect causes triple damage, not double damage.
Oh my god. Okay.
So that would be-
That's 24 times 3.
72.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
72.
Mm-hmm,
And then The horn is going to be 25 points of piercing.
So basically, it's almost in this case, it's basically that Dirkhead enabled this gory attack when he increased his size to be a frost giant. That basically opened him up wider to Cleandra, who is able to basically rip open his gut, and you actually see a flare of magical light coming from this frost heart that's embedded in his chest. But you notice that even the dragon claws fail to pierce the rib cage. They don't even mark the rib cage, but his gut is ripped open, and then that horn comes piercing in. The horn actually slides across the chest plate and lodges in this now open abdominal cavity, ripping even further, doing that additional damage, causing him to reel a bit, staggering backwards, and looking down at what would be an incredibly gory mess if he weren't an undead creature. So it's more like rotten, like just rotten, half-frozen entrails spilling out. And he just looks stunned over at Cleandra. Flip. It's your turn.
Last of her kind, bitches. Let's
Okay.
go.
Great. Okay. So, Flip is going to put his hands like this, and he's gonna go Shoryuken and throw another fireball at Dirkhead.
So proud of you.
He's gonna air burst it, and it's going to deal 27 points of damage.
Oh.
That's
And he won't be able to regenerate.
36 is his reflex save on that.
That is a success.
So it was how much damage?
27. So it would be 14, I
14.
guess.
Which is actually 29 because he takes an additional 15 from weakness to fire.
Mm.
Nice.
And then he's
Flip.
How
do you want to do this?
Oh, Flip. Oh.
So as the air burst goes off above Dirkhead's head, time in the cavern slows and everything stops. And as the first lick of flame begins to caress Dirkhead's face, his eyes close as if he's welcoming the warm embrace of the fire, as if Flip has released him from an icy prison. And as the fire engulfs him fully, he disappears into a puff of ember.
God damn. How cinematic.
As the embers drop to the ground, raining slowly around, one thing you notice is that the ice golems, you hear that sort of like sound of something freezing, that rapid freezing sound, as they just... And in place, wherever they were, these statues are now statues once again. Where Dirkhead was as a frost giant, there is now the original, still large, Kelid-sized torso, basically, frozen, lying on the ground. The rib cage encasing this heart within it.
So is that the artifact we had to find, or like, is this weird to just jack this guy's heart? Like, what's up with that?
Teera's still standing right there, I assume. All this shit went right over her head, literally and figuratively. And she is looking down. She's like, "No, I guess so." And she starts to reach down to grab the heart out of his chest cavity.
You
It would
cannot.
be fun if it got sucked into your body.
You cannot
And you
pass your
became
hand
evil.
through the chest. It's a solid
Okay.
block of ice.
Oh wow. Well, I guess can I pick up the block of ice?
You hear this sound right near you of ripping and tearing and struggling as Cain is trying to pull away these magical vines that encased him as he's get me out of here. What? And he kind of looks at the vines, tracing them over to you, Marda. And he looks like he's kind of coming down from this rage, and he looks like he wants to give you what for, and he just goes, thank you. And with his other hand, he just sort of, as he stands up, he almost subconsciously reaches his hand down, and you watch as zoom, the hammer flies to his hand.
Yes.
Which is that still sort of spectral hand that replaced his own hand.
Cool.
Immediately, could Marda cast a spell?
Yeah.
Just before things progress. I'm feeling like the fan is pretty hurt. So, Marda, you see these tendrils and vines slowly slip away from Cain now that he's been revived, but they don't fully disappear. Instead, you see them mix together with the shards of ice and form this floating disc that places itself between Teera and Cain. I would suggest that you place your hand upon that, and you will feel much better. Before we go any further with anything,
I do immediately.
so when you interact with it, you heal 4d8. It has 5 charges on it.
Oh,
I'm casting
man.
Healing Well.
Do
Oh.
I roll those myself?
I can roll them.
Go ahead.
I like the
I trust you more than
spellcasters
I
to
trust
roll.
myself.
When there's magical healing, I prefer the spellcasters to roll that.
Sure.
So Teera heals 23.
Oh my god.
I
Awesome.
assume Cain is gonna
Yep.
touch it. Cain heals 14. Marda heals 17, and there's still 2 charges left for anyone who wants to.
Flip
Touch it
is going to
again.
delicately probe the healing well. He's going to flick it.
So
Touching
delicate.
it heals you 18.
And Flip is like, okay, well, weird healing disc. That's kind of cool. But like, what else? And then Flip is going to he's gonna say, gather round. I'm gonna sing a song, and it seems as though I'm unprepared. But I ask none of you, please do not be scared. Things will go better than they seem, even though it isn't a scary dream. Here we are together again, without so many of our friends, because they're dead or captured. We're a bit of a depressing crew. There's not too many of us left. But honestly, it's not me, it's you. And
Wow.
then he's going to cast
Incredible.
Heal.
This is what they call tough love here.
And so everybody gets Jesus. 44 points of healing.
Ooh.
And Dirkhead's corpse takes 20 if Flip hadn't already dusted him.
20 points of damage.
Take it again.
Suck it, embers.
Suck it, embers. Does this make it easier to get the freaking heart out of the ice block? That might be great.
So, as this healing, these various healing magics dissipate, and the presence that was this massive presence of Cleandra, you feel it recede as Cleandra returns to elven form. After, I believe it's Bob only persists for like a minute or so, right?
Yeah, Flip is going to casually regard Bob and say, "You need to go to the gym. You need to do some curls. Like, these last two battles have been I'm embarrassed for you, Bob. How can you go home and hang out with your hot wife if you're this inept at what you do?" And Bob gives him the dual claw middle fingers and then disappears.
Incredible.
In the wake of this sort of bright orange flare of flame, as Bob dissipates, you notice that there is a spectral blue glowing figure seated at the throne.
Who dat?
It looks exactly like a spectral image of Dirkhead.
Oh shit! I want to go over there.
Before you even get over there, he rises to his feet. And you can see the throne through him. Picture the ghosts in Skyrim, where they're this sort of glowing blue. But he looks like Dirkhead as you remembered him from when you last saw him.
And so Teera kind of gets up. Is the throne like up on a dais, did we decide, or is it just like on? Okay,
it's on a dais.
So she would kind of get like up to like the steps up, and she kind of wouldn't go up there yet, and she would just say like, she would look up at him and be like, "Well, I guess I didn't know what happened to you all those years ago. You dead then?"
I was dead the moment I met your mother, truth be told.
Well, you sure seemed to like her well enough when we were kids. Was all that just for save face, or what?
I never had a choice as to whether or not to love Melina. From the moment I met her, I was nothing more than a slave to her. She used magic to beguile me and compel me to do her bidding. There was a part of me that was always there, fighting. And I think I was the most myself, raising you and your brother. And he looks over at Cain, who's standing, hasn't walked up the steps. He's just standing there sort of gripping this hammer.
So you did love us then?
I must have.
All of that? Good.
As much as I could. But you have to understand, there is nothing that Melina does that is not selfish. Anything she has ever done, anything she has ever said, it seems as though she is giving you any sort of ground. then you can count on the fact that the benefit is 3, 4, 10-fold on her favor. The spectral form takes a step towards you and kind of hesitantly reaches a hand out, like he wants to put a hand on your shoulder, kind of realizing he even can't do that in this form.
Teera just stands there.
You need,
How tall is he? Is she like his height now, or
like,
is he taller still?
he's like his height, which is still easily pushing close to 7 feet tall as a Kelid. Though for you at what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
You know, he's probably got about 7-8 inches on you, but he looks you
Teera
in your
would-
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Teera would smile and kind of like almost laugh and be like, "I'm almost looking you in the eye."
And you see, as he looks you in the eye, you see he smiles, but only with his mouth. There's a sadness in his eyes. You need to understand, Teera. As much as I was able to, I loved you. I loved you as if you were really my daughter.
Well, I mean, I know that Mum was like bewitching you or whatever, but I thought you were still really my father. I mean, what? Look at me, look at him. And I nod over at Kane. Like, we fucking look like you. If you're not really our dad, then how did she make
Kane.
us?
Torin is blood of my blood. Born of the union between myself and your mother.
And
But when
Teera
you're-
kind of like Teera looks confused and like almost hurt. She's like, yeah, just confused. Sorry.
When I first met your mother and she bewitched me, the first thing she had me do was to steal a baby from amongst the mammoth lords. You are Kelid. Your mother and your father were Kelid. I killed them, and I stole you. You were barely a year old. And I brought you to your mother, and she performed a ritual that bound you to her. And you would start to remember from when Melina called you to, at one point, I believe it was when you were in the Platinum Mines, you got pulled into this sort of pool of water and ichor, and you found yourself before your mother in her cabin. And you realize what little you may know about the Frost Witches. I think one of the tales that would be known amongst children everywhere that hear stories of witches is that they steal children to raise as their own, to gather power. Sometimes they eat them. And you're starting to realize that what Dirkhead is telling you.
Wow. So Teera would kind of stand back, and for a second she kind of almost like steps away from him. And what should have been this kind of joyous reunion, she just feels like she can't breathe. She like looks over at Kane and knows he's not really her brother, and all the stuff she went through to protect her brother, and it's not. They're nothing. She's reeling.
Roll me a recall knowledge.
Kind.
I'm not sure what it would be, because it's like trying to remember something
Tell me what I would remember, and then I'll tell you what it is.
I think it's going to be... So, I want to see how much you remember of something.
Okay.
So I'm struggling to figure out what that would be.
So let's go broad strokes, like categories. Childhood. Something where we grew up.
No, it's more recent. I'll take, well, here we go. We'll just use a... I don't know that there's any specific skill that's going to tie to this, so we're going to do it as a flat check.
Okay. Okay. Here I go. I'm going to re-roll that. I'm going to use a tome. Come on, you. That's better. That's a 17 flat.
Okay. The DC was 15.
Good. First roll was a 4 team, so I feel like that was a good use.
In this moment, as you're sort of reeling, you're starting to think back on that moment when Melina had you before her, and she was trying to convince you to become a Frost Witch.
Mm-hmm.
You remember her admiring your father's greatsword, and then touching it and shattering the blade. And then using her own blood and magic, she forged a new blade for you. The Frost brand that you wield. You're thinking on the words that she talked to you about and wanting you to become a Frost Witch. And with this new knowledge, you're realizing you have no blood connection to her. That would be, from her perspective, a very bad investment. And you kind of start putting two and two together and realize she never expected you to accept the offer. She just wanted you to get her closer to finding Cain. And you realize that as a witch, forging a blade with her own blood, she has known where you have been every moment since you left her presence with that sword. One final piece of knowledge from that that didn't seem to make sense in the moment, but makes sense now. A weapon as powerful as the sword that your father had should not have been simply shattered in the way she did it.
Right.
Meaning the blade you carried all those years as your father's blade, the one that he gave you from under the house when he sent you off into the night, may have been a sword of his, but it was not his sword. All of this sort of happens, all of this occurs in the space of moments as these realizations are hitting you, and Cain, you hear Cain come up beside you, and he grabs hold of your arm to steady you.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of occurs to Teera to like pull away, but she doesn't. And instead she takes her sword out and she kind of almost like throws it at Dirkhead's feet. And she just said, "I don't want this. I can't carry this. I destroy it. I don't think I can destroy it myself. And I don't want it anymore."
Dirkhead just looks at you, this just abject look of sadness on his face, and you feel Cain forcibly turn you towards him. "I don't care what he says. You're my sister. You've always been my sister. Family isn't just blood."
And Teera's just like biting the insides of her cheeks and like trying not to cry, and she She kind of nods just to kind of placate Kane, essentially, and then she looks back at Dirkhead and she would be like, I don't want this anymore.
He simply says, you have the means to destroy the sword and to claim Frostheart.
What does the Frostheart do? What is it? I still don't understand. We came here to get it, but we don't know what it is. We haven't gotten a real answer from anybody. Just speak plainly. What is it?
It is an artifact created by your mother, well, Melina, to sustain life beyond death, to prevent the passage into Gravelands. It's why I've been here this whole time, perverted by other magic of hers. But that is what it does. It can bring back to life somebody who is on the threshold. And with a glance at you, Marda, he says, it allows you to snatch a soul from Pharasma's grasp.
You said this is... you said this is an artifact from Melina Frostheart, right?
It is.
Another beacon for her to track us with. I think we should destroy it. I think we should destroy it now. And I look around at the others to kind of get their input. That and this damn sword, and I kick it, and it kind of goes clattering across the room.
Dirkhead just says, you have the means to destroy the sword and claim the Frostheart. And you realize he's talking to Kane. And Kane has just been standing there sort of gripping this hammer, and everybody might realize now or begin to notice that the hammer is actually starting to glow with a little bit of radiant energy. And Kane sort of raises it up, and he kind of looks like he's not fully in control. And then he... Actually, let me roll to see. That is a 30. That's exactly a 30. You've got a 16 on the die and a 14 will. He struggles against this hammer for a moment, and then you see as he sort of takes control of it. That's what this hammer was designed for. And he kind of turns it over looking at the head, and he starts to read the engravings on it again. Gift, Frostheart, Dirkhead, Khalid. And he looks at the specter of Dirkhead and he says, she doesn't know about this, does she? And Dirkhead just shakes his head. She left me here, in this frozen tomb, for decades. Some came looking to claim a prize. Amongst them was a dwarven blacksmith. With my aid and my instruction, he was able to forge this hammer. And Keen, with a purpose, walks over to where your sword is, Teera, lying on the ground. Mm-hmm. And he just raises the hammer, no hesitation. He just walks up to it, brings the hammer down on it, and there's a flash of light as the sword just shatters. You see the hilt spins off the original hilt, but where he struck it, it turns into ice, but then almost instantly turns into a spray of blood that quickly frosts over. Then Kane walks over to the frozen rib cage of what was Dirkhead in his physical form. He raises the hammer and he brings it crashing down, and there's another as ice sprays everywhere, and there's this arcane flash. And the ribcage is shattered, and there, hovering above the ice, is a perfect, icy heart just floating there.
I go over and I stand next to Kane as he kind of looks at it. And I just kind of look over at him. I'm like, well,
I
take
don't
it
know.
if you're gonna.
I don't know if I can destroy it.
Why would you keep it?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I can physically destroy it.
What you mean? Take it with your nice hammer. Hit it. I'm hitting everything else.
He is going to raise the hammer. And he brings it down. There's a reverberation of arcane energy. Spray of arcane sparks. And when the light sort of dazzle leaves your eyes, the heart still floats there.
Oh shit. I suppose I look over at Marda and Flip. I'm like, I don't suppose either of you two have some kind of a juju that could rip this thing apart, do you?
A device that will destroy a floating ice heart that brings souls back from gods? Yeah, it's in my bag here. Just let me look.
Flip, the sarcasm does not become you.
Disagree. The sarcasm becomes me greatly.
We
Teera
could
walks over.
use it.
Well, use it for what? I don't. The longer we
You
have
said
it,
it.
the longer we have it, the longer Ronica has to come and get it from us. We don't want
So
him to
then
get it now.
Let's use it. Let's bring someone back.
You want us to use the weapon of the enemy against him?
Teera looks around and kind of gestures at this space and be like, I don't see any people that I want to bring back here. Well, and I look over at Dirkhead. Like, do you have, like, a body to come back to, or I don't know, like, the rules?
There's nothing left of me that should be brought back into this world.
Well, I mean, we can't destroy it here, and we shouldn't leave it here, so I guess taking it with us is the only option, right? Teera turns and wants to try to take it out of the air.
You reach out hesitantly, and you wrap your hands around it, this frozen heart, and you feel the shock of cold as you first touch it. And you feel just a light as it thrums with a very slow heartbeat. But other than that, you feel it is in your grasp and you're able to pick it up.
Well, And Teera just kind of like looks around and looks at Kane and looks at Dirkhead and says, "What now?"
I gave you, believe me, against my will, quite a bit of an ass whooping. You all look like you could do with some rest. I don't know how much longer I will be on this plane before Pharasma claims my soul. But as long as I am here, no one will gain entry to this place without me allowing them to, and I will not allow anyone until you are ready to leave. What was my tomb will become your sanctuary for as long as you need to stay here. I, in my time protecting this thing over the last several decades, I gathered a few things. And he just indicates behind his throne. It's all yours if you want it.
Well, I can very much guarantee you Flip will want it. And I look over at Flip with kind of a smirk.
As Teera looks over at Flip, she only sees his ass as he's already started running toward the back of the throne, and he's sort of got his hands together like this, and all you hear on a very quiet voice is what?
I would like all of you to make just a flat, just make a flat check.
11.
17.
16.
Flip and Marda, what you know from what Teera has told you or what you've gleaned from hers and Kane's past, you know that Teera and Kane were separated from their family about 16 years ago. Yet Dirkhead kept mentioning that he has been prisoner here for decades. Add to that the knowledge that you have, Flip, and that Flip told the rest of you, so Marda, you would also know this, that time is moving much slower in here than it is outside, or moving differently. That just seems to emphasize that. Meanwhile, all of you are now level 10.
Hey, Mazel Tov!
And I will tell you what you find in the chest. The first thing you find actually is not in the chest behind the... Sorry, there's a chest that you find, Flip. Beforehand, the thing you find in the chest. There is a chest behind the throne. The first thing you find that is not in the chest, it's actually embedded, partially, not embedded, like sheathed in the back of the throne. What looks like the top, almost like an embellishment at the top of the headpiece on the throne. You realize that Dirkhead's greatsword that he was wielding a version of is in the back of the throne. Dirkhead's greatsword is a greater Frostbrand.
Oh! Flip, are you gonna take that? Are you gonna?
I mean,
I don't think Flip can even pick it up, to be honest.
You could say it if you fucking wanted to.
I'll take it. I just, I won't hang on to it. Maybe. Probably not.
As you're looking...
Would look pretty badass for a little dude my size holding a sword twice my height, though. How terrifying would that be to see Flip running through with a greatsword going, Flip! Glowing specks of snow and stuff.
I'd be scared.
Terrifying. Yeah, you should be.
Kane looks at the two of you and says,
Yeah.
shouldn't that go to the firstborn?
Says the only born.
And Kane looks at you, Teera, and then he kind of smirks a little bit and he goes, too soon?
Very much so. And Teera goes up and fucking takes it.
So, amongst the other things, and you'll want to make sure you write these down and you can figure out who's going to claim which of these, though some of these seem obvious who they are more likely going to benefit. First off, there is a vial of something. I'm going to switch off the sad music. There's a vial of something called... hold on. There is a vial that is a thick green cream. This is a potent poison called Liar's Demise.
Oh.
I'll leave it at that. Whoever claims it can look it up, what it does. Because I want whoever uses it to be able to sort of, one, I'll probably forget about it, and later on down the line, it's going to be an Oil of Taggett situation all over again. It's not quite that powerful, but Liar's Demise is a powerful alchemical consumable. So there is a single vial of this, so keep that in mind. There is a I'm trying to spell. Hold on.
While Jake tries to look up a dictionary, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts, like the class t-shirts with Barbarian, Rogue, and so many more. We have our Paradise, Michigan t-shirts, and we have all kinds of other cool ones that you can get on hoodies, tank tops, coffee mugs, and stickers, and so much more. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
There is a small leather quiver containing I'm gonna leave this because I don't remember what you guys have. They're either crossbow bolts or arrows. We'll just
Whichever
say
you need.
they're ammunition. You see 4 of these pieces of ammunition that are a deep black blue, but they have motes of light that play upon them like the night sky. These are dimension shot ammunition. They basically function like an arrow of transposition in Baldur's Gate. You can fire this arrow at a creature or a space near the creature or wherever, and you will teleport to that location that you shoot this arrow.
Whoa.
There are 4 of them. There is one other arrow in here. This arrow is a hold on, I'm not sure what this is. So it's a sort of an orangish, almost seems to, like orange and yellow, seems to move across it like a liquid almost. This arrow is called a spell echo shot.
Echo shot.
When you activate it, you can name up to 4 creatures in addition to you who have the ability to activate it. So basically, you can designate only these 4 people in addition to you that have the ability to use this. Basically, you can shoot it at a target. If it hits the target, it sticks in them until activated. It moves with them. If it hits the ground, it stays in the ground. But basically, the way it works is once it hits the ground, you can choose to activate it by casting a level 5 or lower area burst, cone, or line spell without a duration, and the arrow will immediately disintegrate and duplicate that spell. Now, in my research, I'm still not 100% sure if duplicate means you get a free additional casting of that spell, or it causes a second iteration of that spell to fire off. So that's something we'll have to figure out, because I'm having a hard time figuring out what duplicate means. This is a very rare consumable.
Badass.
There are 2 more items that are here.
I imagine the way we're being introduced to these is Flip just like only his ass and legs showing, and he's just like throwing things out of the, and we're just, like one at a time.
The next thing you find is it literally looks like an eye plucked from a monster.
Ew.
But it looks like it's sleeping. This is called an emergency eye. The trigger is if you become blinded or an effect that otherwise impedes your vision, and you are an expert in perception, this eye will basically function as your eye until the end of your next turn, at which point it will wither and flake away. So it's a single-use emergency eye is what it says. The final item is a staff. This staff has iron strips that are lining the body of it, capping the bottom, and at the top, these all of these strips of iron seem to interlock and fold around and tie into this intricate. Think of like an intricate Celtic knot, but in 3 dimensions, from all of these iron bands. While wielding this staff, you are empowered by the curses you inflict.
Oh, Jesus.
If an enemy fails a saving throw against a spell you cast that has the curse trait, you gain temporary hit points equal to double that spell's level. These temporary hit points last 10 minutes. The enemy must be a significant threat and can't have been a willing subject of the cursed. This is actually a major accursed staff, which means it also has within it 2 5th level and 3 6th level spells. Inevitable Disaster, Mariner's Curse, Blinding Fury, Feeble Mind, and Remove Curse.
Badass. I wonder who that's meant for. Oh, hey.
So yes, this is called an accursed staff, and it is a major. So I hope you wrote all those down. If not, I actually did write them down.
It's a shame we won't have any recording of this session.
Yeah. You'll be able to basically take the higher up version of Greater Frostbrand to replace your Frostbrand that you destroyed.
Fucking great. I will say Teera does go over eventually and would want to pick up the hilt and just kind of like heft it in her hand. And then just to kind of keep it kind of for no reason. She has a new sword now.
It's clear upon picking up the hilt that there are no traces of the blade that was forged from blood and ice by your mother. Whatever magic she had was contained within her blood magic. Is there anything else that any of you wish to discuss now amongst yourselves while you're resting? Or do you want to rest up and make your next plan of action? Which basically means we will be ending early tonight.
Is the ghost still standing there?
Yeah, for a little bit. I think once you guys settle into a rest, he's going to sort of phase through the walls and sort of patrol and keep an eye on things.
Okay. I do want to say like one last thing to him, like before we leave, but we're not leaving right yet, are we, or are we?
I think what I would like to do is give you guys a chance to do your level up and kind of think
Okay.
about what you want to do. And at the start of next session, you guys can sort of plan out, or if you've planned in the in-between, figure out what your next course of action is going to be.
Okay.
Leaving this place, if there's any additional conversations you want to have. Dirkhead basically made it clear that once you leave, he's fairly certain that Pharasma is going to claim his soul soon.
Okay.
So the game master tells you that'll probably be almost immediately after you leave.
Gotcha. Okay. It's like that moment in the game where it's like, are you sure you want to proceed? You cannot save after this moment. Like,
yeah.
She wouldn't right now then.
So with that, after defeating a powerful enemy, gaining some loot, gaining a level, and Teera learning some life-altering, earth-shattering news, we are going to go ahead and end this session, Double Dragon, a little bit early tonight. That's why I pushed through when we normally would have taken a break. And we will be
earmarks of a good session.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time and channel to see what happens in the continuing adventures. As I will say, one thing that lingers that we will find out next week is just how much time has elapsed outside while you have been inside.
Oh, right.
When you guys went in, I'd have to go back and look to see if I can find the exact, but I think it was roughly like 12 days or something like that, or maybe it was 15.
Okay.
You guys had like just less than 3 weeks, I think. So I'll have to figure that out. How much time you actually had, so that I can do the math to figure out how much time you have when you get out of this place. Otherwise, you can catch us here on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for our next session 4 of Welcome to Paradise Academy, our Kids on Bikes RPG, where it's still the first day of school. The kids are sort of settling into their classes, and we got to see a couple of them. Maybe this week we'll get to see possibly what Jessica's been up to, and why did Laz get hauled off to the vice principal's office. So tune in for that. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in, new followers, supporting the channel, whatever. We appreciate you if you're lurking quietly in the background. Of course, we always appreciate you if you're watching later on the VODs. And as always, a tremendous thank you to these amazing players, the core that remain after, I don't even remember how long we've been playing this game. It's got to be close to 2 years now.
More than that, I think.
A huge thank you to Gary, Cari, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.